Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. A few months ago, I did a video on Truist Bank, and I gave you everything that you needed to know. But today, we're going to be talking about Truist business credit cards and how you can get approved in 2025 and everything you need to know about this specific product. Now, Truist was formed in 2019. It was through a merger between two banks, BB&T and SunTrust. Today, Truist Bank is among the top 10 largest banks in the US. With that being said, Truist has been known for getting limits as high as $25,000 to $30,000 on the business side without requiring documentation or financial reviews. So today we're going to discuss each credit card, what it takes to get approved, and of course, data points so that you can get approved for these cards in 2025. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Before we discuss the details of the Truist business credit cards, I want to give you a little more information about Truist and who they actually are. Now, Truist has 2,781 branches in 15 states and Washington, D.C. The following states are North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Indiana, Texas, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Truist is also on the list of largest banks in the U.S. by asset with $514 billion in assets. Now let's go over the data points. I just want to give you this information up front so you'll know exactly what the criteria is to be approved for a Truist business credit card. First, they will hard pull Equifax. This is the same for their personal credit cards as well as their business credit cards. I personally recommend that you have a credit score of 680 or higher. Although if you do have a thick credit profile with some extensive credit history, you might be able to get approved with credit scores as low as a 650. And of course, you want to open a checking account and savings account. We'll definitely be discussing that later on in the video. If you do open these accounts, I recommend that you make bi-weekly deposits for at least 90 days, especially if you're someone who has a lower credit score. If you're someone that has more of an established credit score and you have very high credit card limits as well as a mix of credit accounts, then you may not necessarily need to build the relationship and guard in this account. But I'm going to say that you should just do this to get the highest limits out of your approvals the first time around without having to submit credit line increase requests later down the line. The reason why you do this is because frequent deposits will show cash flow and business profitability. The longer you are with a bank, the longer they establish a bank profile. Every bank has an internal system, whether it's a score, a ranking, a percentage, something that they use to evaluate you as a client and also to evaluate you as a business. They're going to be doing that based off of the money that you leave in the account, the deposits that you make, as well as your personal credit. Now, with that being said, this is a stated income application, meaning that you're leveraging your personal credit as opposed to having to show financial documentation to show business profitability. So you're leveraging your personal credit in order to get these credit cards, even though you don't have to actually show that you can feasibly pay them back. But I do want you to always keep in mind that Truist does reserve the right to ask for financial documentation at any time. There is no absolute. There is no they will never request anything at all. It can potentially happen, so always keep that in mind. I also want to update you on foreign filings. To put it simply, you can actually form a business in another state as long as you pay to do so. You will need to be aware if your activities for your business qualify as doing business. Each state's laws are different on this, so it's important that you look up the specific definition of doing business for the state in which you want to do a foreign filing for your business entity, but you can no longer do that with Truist. I know this as of May 2025. Again, things can change, but as of right now, if you're not in the Truist footprint, you will not be able to get a business credit card, at least not through the online application. Now, here is the good thing. You can technically still open a Truist business banking account, a checking account, and savings account, even if you were in a different state. I live in Nevada. I was able to do it myself. However, if you want to apply for a Truist business credit card, you will need to go into a branch and do it that way. That is the only other way at this time that I know of applying for a Truist business credit card if you don't live in one of the aforementioned states. Another option is to have someone as a business partner or form a business on your behalf in another state. And if they have a physical residential address that you can also use that will be required on the application for you to even submit it, then they can help you with that. Other than that, it's going to be the exact same qualifications that you can expect with any other business credit card. No late payments, no derogatory marks, no charge-offs, no collections, anything like that. And as long as you're able to meet those credit qualifications and you are within their footprint, there should be no reason why you shouldn't qualify for a Truist business credit card. Currently, we are on Truist.com. Now, if you have not opened an account with them, this is exactly where you want to begin. There are 3 different types of accounts that you can compare. In all honesty, it doesn't really matter which one that you pick. I personally would actually pick the account that does not have any fees. In that case, it would be the Truist Simple Business Checking. It's straightforward. There's no monthly maintenance fee, and it's perfect if you're just starting out. But if you have more than 50 total combined transactions per month, then there will be a cost. There's no charge for the first $2,000 in cash deposits per month. After that, there will be a 0.0031 fee per dollar. There's no monthly maintenance fee still, so keep that in mind. You also get the Truist Business Debit Card with the option to personalize it for your employees. Now, if you do want to use this account for business purposes, you might want to look at the Truist Dynamic Business Checking. You can have 500 total combined transactions per month at no charge. No charge for the first $25,000 in cash deposits per month. After that, the same fee will apply, 0.0031 per dollar for $25,001 and anything beyond that point. There is a $20 monthly maintenance fee that is waived if you keep a balance of $5,000 in the relationship ledger balance. There's a Truist business card that earns miles with the Delta Sky Miles business debit card. I talk about this in my other Truist video, everything you need to know. If you're interested in learning more about that, definitely check that out. And the last one is going to be the Truist Community Checking. That's designed specifically for nonprofit, small community, or civic organizations. You can have 225 total combined transactions per month at no charge. There's no charge for cash deposits. There's 0 monthly maintenance fees. And then you also get a Truist Business Debit Card for you and your employees. You do have to schedule an appointment to open that account. That one cannot be opened online. Next, we're looking at the Truist savings accounts that you can have for your business. The first one is the Truist Simple Business Savings Account. This is going to be the one that I recommend. You can deposit up to 20 items and $5,000 in cash each month at no charge. As your balance grows, you can pair your savings account with the Truist Dynamic Business Checking to get more perks. If you want to learn more about those perks, again, I have that other video that goes over all of these additional details. Next is the Truist Business Money Market. You can easily access your funds and you have check writing capabilities. That's the main thing about this account that's different from the previous one. You can deposit up to 10 items and $5,000 per month for free. And if you want to write a check and make payments directly from your savings account, then you can do that with this account. Those are pretty much overall the benefits that you're going to get. If you keep over $5,000 in your business savings though, that will take care of any maintenance fees that you may have. And the last option that you have, which is not a savings account, it's the Truist Business Certificate of Deposits. It's a CD. You can watch your savings grow and you can choose from terms from 7 days to 5 years. You can get reliable returns based on a guaranteed fixed rate. The longer you leave your cash in there for the CD, the more that you could get. And this is a great way to, let's say, build a relationship or establish it further while you're with Truist. So definitely something to consider if you're trying to get larger credit limits. Now let's go over each of the credit cards. I want to talk about which ones I think would be best for which individual and how you can actually use these strategically depending on what you're trying to do with your business. Now, the Truist Business Rewards Credit Card, great card, no annual fee. You get a 0% introductory APR for 9 months on purchases. 9 months. Now, there is a variable APR rate of 16.49% to 25.49% thereafter. You can earn cash back 3% on gas, 2% on restaurants and office supplies. That is up to $2,000 in combined spend for that 2 to 3% category per month. After that, it's 1%. And if it's not in those categories, it's 1% on all other eligible purchases. You can also get a 10, 25, or 50% loyalty cash bonus when you deposit cash rewards into an eligible Truist business checking account, a savings, or a money market account. If you are actually looking to really use this for something other than just a credit line, honestly, there are a lot of rewards that you can get with Truist if you can bind certain things, especially this loyalty bonus for the deposit cash reward. Is kind of nice. It's actually really, really good. Now, I would say the Truist Business Cash Rewards card is going to be excellent if you have to buy inventory, if you're doing something with your business, if you want to liquidate and then take the funds and be able to actually use them to make money for a certain period of time. And then after that, you want to pay it back. That's what this card would be best for, especially with no annual fee. Now, the Truist Business Travel Rewards card does have a $49 annual fee, but it's waived in the first year. Same variable APR, 16.49% to 25.49% at the time of recording this video. You can earn 2 miles per dollar spent on airfare, hotels, and car rentals. You also earn 1 mile per dollar spent on all other eligible purchases. You also get the loyalty bonus of 10, 25 to 50%, but this is a travel bonus, and that's with a Truist business checking, savings, or money market account when you redeem miles for travel. So look, if you would really prefer to use your business credit card to just make money and just leverage the credit line, I don't recommend it for that. But if you are someone who does travel frequently and you want to, let's say, rack up a lot of points while you're doing this spending, maybe be able to travel for free with the money that you're going to already spend for your business, that's what this card is best for. And last, we have the Truist Business Card. Now, you're going to get 0% introductory APR for 12 months. This will have the longest 0% APR that you can get on any of their business credit cards. So if you want to get the most out of it, I recommend maybe starting with this card first, opening this one, using the entire 12 months, and then after that, you then use the 9 months from the other 0% APR card. That way, you can potentially stretch this for 21 months. It just makes more sense instead of trying to actually use both of these cards at the same time. If you got $25,000 between both of these cards, that's $50,000, 0% APR. Does not make sense if you don't intend on using the entire $50,000. Take your time, pace it out, use one card first, and then apply for the other. Before we look at the Truist credit card application, let's talk about the small business line of credit. Now, this does not have to do with the credit cards, but I just want to show you that they do have additional products that you can get. This is a credit line that goes up to $100,000. It has 12 to 36 month terms with great competitive rates. You can apply for a specific line of credit amount. You can borrow up to that credit limit, and you can access these funds by transferring money to your checking account or by writing a check. The interest does accrue only on the outstanding balance, and it accrues immediately when you start using this line of credit. Highly recommend that you check this out. It also pulls from Equifax in order for you to get approved. But with this one, depending on the amount that you request, they may ask for low documentation. When I say low documentation, I mean bank statements, maybe from 90 days to 6 months, just seeing that you have money from your business. That's pretty much it. Now, if you ask for higher amounts for this line of credit, they may ask you for full documentation, or they could potentially ask you for collateral. It just varies by the amount that you're requesting. So currently we are in the Truist Business Credit Card application. When you begin with this application, you have to let them know if you're authorized to apply for this credit card. Now, if you're an authorized representative of your organization, of course, yes, you should be. You'll enter your first name, your last name, as well as your email address. Next, they're going to ask if anybody in your organization represents a foreign government. The answer should be no, more than likely, so we're just going to put no. Or does any of your operations that you conduct happen in a foreign country? The answer should be no as well. And then you'll start the application. So then you'll be taken to the Let's Get Started screen. If you do have a banking ID and password, then you'll be asked to enter that information here. Then they'll ask you to enter your zip code. Once again, if you put any zip code other than any of the following states or Washington, D.C., you will not be able to complete this application. Next, you'll enter some basic information. It's going to ask your organization type, and you'll be able to enter if you're a sole proprietor, a partnership, a corporation, a limited liability corporation, or if you're a nonprofit. You'll also want to enter your organization's legal name, your tax ID, your organization phone number, as well as your industry type. Now, you don't have to get the exact industry type. They're going to ask you some information to search for what closest comes to your industry. Then you'll put your date of legal formation, the date you actually establish your business, which state was your business actually formed in, your number of employees, your annual sales, your organization activities. Don't overthink this. Just put what your business actually does. And then you will enter your organization physical address. If you try to enter any other state that's not within their footprint, you'll notice that it's not available. Once that's done, you'll have to complete your applicant information, and that's going to be your personal information, your first name, your last name, your date of birth, your relationship to the organization, which can be the CEO, president, owner, however you want to identify yourself. Normally, I select owner. You'll also enter your citizenship. You'll also enter your authorized signer email. I would just put the email that you associate with your business or your business email. You'll also be asked to enter the authorized signer phone number. So that should be your mobile number or your home number if you have a home number. Then you'll enter the authorized signer's current address. That should be the residential address. Once again, it has to be in one of the following states. And you'll enter your zip code, how long you've lived at that address, and then you'll agree to the disclosures and agreements. Now, when it's all completed, you'll have to review your information. You're going to just make sure that your organization information is correct. You have the right name, phone number, tax ID, annual sales, and then you'll want to review the applicant's information. Make sure that everything there is also correct. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any more questions about Truist and as far as their business lines of credit or any of their other business products go, please let me know in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to address them there. Again, check out that video about everything associated with Truist, especially if you just so happen to be in their footprint. Now, if there's any other bank that you would like me to review, please leave that in the comments as well. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video, and you guys have a wonderful day.